Welcome. This is the Jerid and Brian podcast.
With Brian and Jerid. I'm Brian.
I'm Jerid.
Welcome.
Obviously, the naming this podcast was an undertaking.
It took a while. In fact, we've been
took a long
sitting
time.
here. It's really fucking hot, and we've been sitting here trying to come up with a name. Just like that, Jerid and Brian show.
And
Fuck.
when you said it, I was like, how did we never think of that?
What's crazy is that's
Yeah.
not what happened. When I said it, it was not accepted. Everybody in the studio did not like it.
That's how you
We
took it.
Googled it. Yeah, well, that's what
It
happened.
was
We started
just
Googling
silence.
things. It was
just quiet.
I heard some nay takers. It wasn't just silence. There was
Haters gonna hate, bro. When you got a good idea, people hate instead of celebrate. Congratulate, dude. Congratulations on the good idea.
shit, dude. Bump it out. We're starting it right.
Yeah, we're starting it right. I'm
You got
on the
to.
left. And so this is a
Well played.
podcast, the Jerid and Brian podcast, of course. And really what we want to do is we just want to have cool topics that we go over. We just want to do some back and forth conversation for you guys. Obviously, in the comments, you could always leave things that you want to hear more about. But as far as today, first off, it's hot. It's super hot. Super hot.
It's really hot. We just wanted to
What
get
is-
it popping.
what is
Try
that
it
song?
first.
Yeah, shit gets super hot.
Never. I don't know.
There's a song out there and it goes, shit gets super hot. Oh, it's a Drake song.
Fuck, dude. I don't.
Because it's not a stopwatch, it's a rolling time, don't never stop.
It's a lot of time we're putting into this one.
It's a lot of time.
I don't
So-
know the song.
So it's a Drake song. I don't know if you heard of Drake, but yeah, he has a song. He talks about
I don't
how
know if
hot
you've
it
heard of
is. It's very hot. And so recently I saw a documentary, and it's called Who Destroyed the Internet. And when I first saw it, I thought, okay, this is going to be a documentary about stupid people that are on the internet that ruined it for everybody. Do you know
Okay.
what I'm saying?
I haven't seen the thing.
Yeah, so you haven't seen it. I've seen it, so I'm going to just tell you a little bit about it.
Okay.
And maybe you guys have seen it, maybe not. But Ray William Johnson, he used to do YouTube back in the day. Maybe he still does. I just haven't seen him. But he did this documentary saying how instead of what I thought, which would be how stupid people have made the internet ridiculous, which I think it's actually the other way around. I think stupid people have created the internet
I think it's
and
a
made
mixed
it
bag.
beautiful.
I don't think there's
right?
a rule. I think it's a spectrum. It's a mixed bag on that.
It's a mixed bag. It's general, that's a general term. I think stupid people have created the internet. So shout out to all you stupid people doing stupid things.
It's a lot to say. I don't know. I don't fucking know. But I think it's a mixed bag. I think that I don't know.
I guess what
The
I'm
whole
saying
thing
is
it's just the openness of it. It could be anything. It's I guess your perception of whatever the fuck you click on. Probably.
yeah. I guess see me personally, I like stupid things. I like to watch things that are random and just out of nowhere. So that's why.
What do you
I
mean?
said
Like
that.
getting lost on YouTube kind of a
Yeah,
thing?
you get down these rabbit holes.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like magic has been huge for me lately. We talked about this before, actually.
Bringing magic back. This was on the original podcast, which we didn't mention this one filming, but we did in
Yeah.
a few tries before this.
Yeah, we did a few things before this. Maybe we'll sprinkle some clips. It was kind of funny, but yeah. So like magic, I'll get super lost in. It used to be conspiracies, not as much anymore with the conspiracies. I'll get like super deep onto people judging bars, like rap bars, rappers judging other rappers' bars.
You know what you got me into that I get lost into is rap battles.
Rap battles are incredible.
Those are pretty dope. I mean, I had seen a few, but we haven't mentioned it yet because this is a new podcast. We mentioned it on the other one, but we used to drive around. We worked together, did a little business thing, and while we were doing that, we'd ride around and listen to clips. And you showed me a lot of those. I get lost doing that shit. Those are kind of cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, rap battles are incredible. I mean, I myself am a lyricist. You're a musician as well.
And a lyricist.
Way more of a musician than me. I just literally write lyrics. That's all I do. You are more full spectrum
There's a
in the
spectrum.
music.
But lyrics too. I like lyrics. That was something we used to rap about.
Oh, dude,
What's up?
I thought of a great analogy. I know it's kind of all over the
We-
place.
yeah.
Who cares?
This is the
This
Jared and Brian show.
this
Fucking
isn't
do
the
whatever.
everyone else's podcast. It's Jerid
We
and
didn't
Brian
name it that.
with Brian and Jerid. So we did this thing where we talked about like quotes and metaphors and analogies and stuff like that.
That's right.
So I was having a conversation the other day with somebody, and it was a problem-solving type conversation, right? It was an employee of mine, and we were talking about what needed to be done to make things better and strategizing. And I felt like maybe we were just getting way too complicated with how we were solving a problem. So I thought of an analogy to help people when they're overwhelming themselves. And that is, you can't listen to the whole CD at once. Start with the first track and go from there. What do you think?
I don't know how the answer complements what the rest of what you were saying. I don't get it. Yeah,
I don't really know.
I mean, nobody puts the CD on
when I did
and
it.
plays the fourth song first or something like that.
I guess the thing is, in this day and age, I feel like people, they overwhelm themselves, and maybe they are just looking at everything all at once.
Are you saying to just jump in the fucking pool? Like, it's a little cold, you're fucking with your toe, just jump in the pool?
I'm saying that would be the first step. If the goal is for you to be an Olympic swimmer, and you're just sitting down thinking, what do you got to do to be an Olympic swimmer?
And you're having a problem jumping in the water, that's a wrap, dude. I don't think it goes any further than that.
But maybe you're having problems because before you jump in, you're already thinking, how am I going to handle this success? What's it going to be like to be on a podium?
Problem solving is taking it one step at a time.
Nobody ever just was on the top of the staircase without climbing the steps.
No, yeah.
Totally. Do you know what I'm saying?
That's the first step, you know.
So, I mean, at the end of the day,
they also say baby steps.
The day
so
ends.
I think that's what you're saying, right?
Yeah, so I just want to sprinkle the analogy in there. And if you're going through anything tough today and life is hitting you really hard, just put the first track on. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Don't worry about 2 through 11. They're going to happen. They're going to play after number 1. But just take it one step at a time, you know?
It's pretty deep. I don't really grasp how we got here. We're going to keep it going. We're fine.
But that's okay, dude, because I watched this documentary, How the Internet Was Ruined or something like that, right? I thought it was going to be basically what the first 5 minutes of this has been, just kind of not nonsensical, but all over the place, fun. People like that kind of stuff. But it was about how there's so many people on the internet right now that the service is lacking. And,
I didn't know.
And within the documentary, it literally had Obama. He was giving a speech at one point, and he said, the internet is not a privilege. It's a necessity for human beings. And it made me think, that's crazy that we live in a time where in order to exist, it's believed that we need the internet. You know what I'm saying?
I think we've always needed information. I think that's all. To me, that's all it is. Like, whenever you want to know something, just the information is there. That's kind of, I don't know. That, aside from just getting lost in mindless shit, like you got 20 minutes, so you start fucking around on YouTube. That, I mean, I don't really use it for anything else. I've done it for like marketing, like music, you know, because we both do music. But you're
that stuff I can't. So you're on the end of the spectrum where you use the internet as a tool. Let's say if you don't, if you got a screw in front of you, you ain't grabbing the hammer. If you already if you got the screwdriver already, you ain't just looking anything up. You know what you need to do.
It's like I bought the hammer because I was told to put this in the wall. I need a hammer. So I have the fucking thing, but I just don't use it. Like for the music thing, I did some of the what is it, like Facebook and all that shit. I never go on there. So
would you say that if you had more accessibility, or if you had,
it's on my phone, let's say, it's pretty accessible.
Okay, so it's accessible to you, and you're not really using it that much. So you're on the end of the spectrum of you use it as a tool, you use it to achieve certain things. You don't use it as a way to stimulate yourself all the time in order to feel happy. Well, you don't use it as that dopamine rush, right?
But I wouldn't fucking dopamine. Like,
that's what people are doing, though. That's what they talk about, right?
But I guess here's the bit. Going back to like social media, like I have accounts for that music stuff that I do. But I don't fucking go on there and start scrolling and doing all that shit, looking at other people's things, that's kind of half of what it is. It's not just this is my shit, but it's this is my shit and let me read all this other garbage that other people put on. I guess it just doesn't interest me, like, what you're fucking doing. Unless, like, it interests me. In which case, I'll probably just call it text or some shit. But to just arbitrarily be doing this to see what the fuck is up, hoping something catches my interest, like, that's kind of a jack-off. I don't know. I don't dig it. But I'm on there putting my shit on, so that's counterproductive. So that's why I stopped doing it.
So how do you feel about, though, the fact that a lot of people right now, they're saying that on average, people are spending like 6 to 8 hours a day on the internet, looking at their phone, whatever it may be. And the way that things are being set up now is it's all driven to make you click on things. Clicking on things is like a drug. You know what I'm saying? It's the Pavlov with the rat. Exactly. It's clickbait. They literally call it clickbait. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and people, they get depressed because they don't get likes on things. Maybe people get excited because they get a bunch of likes, but whatever. But it's like the internet is driving the human experience. Do you know what I'm saying?
I would agree.
Which is what I'm getting
That's
at.
what I agree with that. I think that we don't use it for that. It's like having a library and then going to use the internet, like we used to 15, 20 years ago. They had computers, but you go there to use that as opposed to the library.
I think that's very true. And I look at it like, where is it going? Do you know what I'm saying? Because I'll drive around sometimes and I feel like I've lived past lives. Do you know what I mean?
Like seriously, like I'll see you in the next life, like Patrick Swayze at the end of whatever that movie is.
I feel like time doesn't exist.
Well, I mean it does, but we made it. It's
irrelevant.
We made up the concept. It's relevant because after enough of it, we won't be here. But it's a made up concept.
But other things will still be here. Our consciousness, it just experiences life. And we break it up into segmented times so we can be controlled, right? That's why we have Monday through Friday. Then you got the weekend. Then you got 9 to 5. I don't think animals think about the time. Like anytime I think about life, I start with animals. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like at one time human beings were just animals. That's what we were. Maybe we were always special, but there was a point where we didn't have the internet. There was a point where we didn't have electricity. There was a point where we just hunted and gathered. So we were a lot closer to like monkeys than we are now, right?
Sure.
So to put it into perspective, like, is it a benefit that human beings are so aware of everything and we have the internet? Or is it negative to the human experience? I guess with a lot being said,
strictly positive.
Strictly positive.
That's a big ass claim I just made. But I think
that was pretty major.
The reason I think is because information is important. It's what moves everything forward. Obviously, we want to be entertained, which is why we do things like getting lost on the YouTube. I sound like a fucking 80-year-old man on the YouTube. But when you're doing stuff like that, that's for the entertainment purposes. But at the same time, like I did cooking, so I'll use it to like look up recipes or something. Bad example, but it's using the information to move yourself forward. I think that is what it should and could be, and is used for like 10% of the time. I think mostly it's to just get people that dopamine that you were just talking about.
So let me ask a question. So you want to cook a dish, you know what I'm saying? You want to make some fire truffle mac and cheese with bacon bits.
I wouldn't put bacon in that.
Chicken.
I'll do the truffle mac and cheese.
With some shrimp parm. Whatever, dude.
It's a lot of things.
I don't know. I don't really cook.
We'll figure it out when we get there.
I need to know more dishes so when I have these conversations, I can throw out more random dishes. But
those are a few.
How would you have done that before the internet? So let's say the internet doesn't exist. You want to cook. What do you do?
So that's the bit. I don't fucking know. I guess you'd ask like a parent or some shit if you have a parent that cooks.
So you'd have,
or you could get a cookbook. That's pretty old concept now. But I mean, it's just the sitting at home saying this would be great. I think that's
one thing you didn't say is I would have just figured it out.
Well, because it's not.
Are we out of a time and age where people just figure things out? Let me give you an
example then. Like, because I like to cook and my wife does too, but she bakes really well. And baking is a fucking science. You can't dick around with the proportions and the measurements. With cooking, it's like riffing. If you're a musician, you're riffing the jam. Like, I can fuck with it and put some stuff, but with baking, it has to be just that. So, no, you can't always, as an example, you can't always just say, I'm going to fucking figure it out.
Well, you're taking it as on the first try, you got to figure it out. I'm saying there'd be a process to figuring it out, right?
Marginally, but if you just don't know the thing, like if I'm making if I'm making paella, I don't fucking know how to make paella. That's just something
I don't even know what that is.
Oh, it's like
let me Google it.
It's like a big ass. See? It's a big ass rice dish, and you just put shit in it, and so that sounds simple enough.
I was thinking so
do
hard,
it the right way.
I didn't hear what you said.
Well, they did.
Damn it.
That's what counts, bro.
But to the example I was trying to make, I was being selfish right now. I was thinking more about myself than what you were saying.
It's the Jerid and Brian.
The internet's done that to me, dude. The internet's made me selfish. I was kidding. Maybe not.
That's probably true.
But the thing is, what I was getting at is the human experience element of that. Do you know what I'm saying? When you're talking about making this,
are you saying does it remove the human experience? Because it's a mix. Because you do learn more, which is the human experience, but it also takes you out of it a bit. You can be in the comfort of your home, which is what I was saying was a positive of it. But me being out of my home as opposed to socializing and maybe learning it that way through a friend who cooks or something like that.
Yeah. So I guess that is where I've been thinking a lot lately is the difference in the way my ancestors experienced the human experience to the way I'm experiencing it. And I do this thing where I go back and forth between thinking which would I prefer. because I do enjoy the internet, and I do enjoy having all the information I want at my fingertips, but it also does create a lack of excitement sometimes, because maybe it would be fun just to figure something out, or to have to do the trial and error in order to get somewhere, as opposed to just going online.
That's an expensive ticket though, because you're not doing anything
I think there's a lot less
for all that time, and then just the one thing that you got to do. Like 200 years ago, the most exciting thing would probably be like, I don't even fucking know, like nothing. What the fuck was exciting?
Eating, sleeping
Sick.
without
So
being
you had to like
sleeping
hunt,
without being hunted by other animals.
Dude, nah, I would way prefer air conditioning and a cold beer. But like it just depends on like, I don't know, you could go camping if it gets you off that much to like have nothing.
I like camping.
It's cool.
You know.
At that point I'm just stoked to go home after a couple of days.
Yeah. So the human experience and the internet, I feel like they've merged, and I don't know where I'm at with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll be driving down the street sometimes, and all I see is billboards. I see signs. I see things that are flashing at me. And it makes me feel like it's not like all of this was designed for me, or like I get to experience all this. I just feel like a mouse that's constantly trying to be trapped. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, everyone's out to sell me some shit. Everybody wants to tell me something, to get me to believe something, or everyone's promoting to me. I mean, all of my thoughts, everything on your phone is designed in order to get algorithmic things to pitch things to you, you know? Like,
well, the process might be ugly, but then that's how you get your truffle mac and cheese. You wouldn't have fucking known about that unless some dude tried to sell you on it, or you saw it boxed on a fucking menu and you're like, that sounds pretty good. Other than that, you 200 years ago, there's no fucking truffle mac and cheese, bro.
Yeah, okay, but if you had a TV in your room that you never turned on, it was just a box in your room, you didn't even know what the hell it was, would you ever miss a television show? Would you be sitting up at night thinking, oh, I missed that show? You don't even have the understanding of television. So, well, like, you're not missing out on an experience that you don't know exists. I think, if anything, right. I look at it like, I do wish we could, this is where it's all going to. I do wish I could time travel and see what it was like before all this.
Bit of a heavy request.
And I'd like to see how human beings actually interacted with each other. Because I feel like with the internet, it's given us a pass to be very to be an asshole. I feel like it's given people a pass to be full of shit all the time.
They think their opinions matter when it's not backed up. It used to be like okay, the 200 years ago, if we met, I would have to in some way like back up what I'm saying based on, you know, if I'm saying there's good fish in this pond, if I didn't fish the fucking pond before, you're not going to believe what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's almost like
and that's removed, because now I could just be on the comfort of my couch fucking looking at something and talking shit about whatever you're doing without any real experience, and I could be far right or left with it or whatever, and my opinion is just as nothing as yours, but I'm talking shit about your opinion and no one's talking shit about mine because I'm on my couch. Exactly. I think that's the ugly thing about it, but I think with anything good that there'll be some bullshit with it.
Yeah, very true. I mean, there's definitely a lot of positive that comes with the internet, you know, just like there is negative, of course. I guess, where is it going from here? You know, because like you just said, life on your couch with a computer in front of you momentarily can feel like everything is at your fingertips, but at the end of the day, you're by yourself on a couch with a piece of machinery that at any point can break and you don't have access to. So like, where is it going from here? Like, how could it get better and better? Like, because I think it just really goes to virtual reality. I think the next step is complete virtual reality. I think it becomes
full dependability, if that's the right way to say it. Like, for example, an escalator, you know, you could walk up the escalator and it's just stairs to get you there faster, but everyone stands there. And, you know, sometimes I like to order food at home and it just comes to me and that's tight. But if you become that person all the time and I'm always just ordering it and I'm never going out, then like there's a loss of experience in that. Whereas it's nice once in a while to have a feature like that. The dependability gets increased the longer we go. And then the more that separation exists, the less of the human experience that you're talking about will exist.
Talking about all this, what it really reminds me of is when I was younger, I had a Knott's Berry Farm annual pass. It's like $30, $130, I'm sorry. And I was able to go to Knott's Berry Farm every day. And during the summer, there was a group of people that would go there every single day. Do you know what I'm saying? They're called locals. You familiar? Did you ever go to Knott's and see the locals, bro? That was me. I would go
Cool.
I'll go like at least every weekend, and then sometimes
That's
during the
so
week.
lame.
That was every weekend for sure. And then, dude, I would wake up and it was cloudy outside. I would just pray for like hours that the sun would come out, so I go to Knott's that day.
How far did you live from Knott's?
Because
dude?
if it's raining, my mom ain't taking me to
How
Knott's.
far did you live from Knott's? Was
20
it
minutes.
That's reasonable.
But dude, when you're 13 years old, 20 minutes is like you might as well be here to Vegas.
I had
4
the same
hours.
thing with Six
You know what I'm
Flags, and we went like every day, and I fucking can't stand Six Flags. I went a whole summer like every other day. It was fucking stupid.
See, that's what I'm saying. So like my memories before I got that annual pass and I started going to Knott's Berry Farm were like, dude, I love going here. I can't wait. I go on these rides. I wait in the lines. There's a certain experience to Knott's Berry Farm that you get on an organic level if you just go once a year. You know what I'm saying? It's exciting. I get to go back. I get to see this ride. A new ride's here. I'm waiting an hour to do something.
So what are you saying? You get numb to it? Is that the bit?
And then my mom would tell me, look, you're going to go to Knott's Berry Farm so much. And her analogy inside of the analogy I'm using was, what if you had birthday cake every day? Who gives a shit if someone gives you birthday cake on your birthday, right? Sure. And it's kind of the same thing. Like I went to Knott's Berry Farm so much that I don't even care about ever going back in my life now.
Still?
Not really. I mean, yeah, I do. It'd be fun to go back when I have kids or something like that. But I've never woken up and thought I want to go to Knott's Berry Farm. Like, or I never even see a commercial and think I'd like to go there.
I agree. Same thing with my Six Flags thing.
I overdid it because the accessibility was way too easy. I was there too much. And instead of being that fun experience that I once had, it just became everything. It became my social life. It became what I wanted to do every day.
Knott's Berry Farm?
Yeah, social life? Dude. Hey, I was like
were
13,
all the homies
14,
going?
All the homies. I didn't really have many homies. So, like, I made homies
you and
at
Snoop?
Knott's Berry Farm. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of those guys at lunch in high school. I didn't really have a group of people I hung out with. I had one friend pretty much throughout high school. In, like, 9th grade, he got kicked out. So, in 10th grade, I would just walk around and kick it with groups, man. I kicked it with the people that freestyle rapped. I would kick it with the people that just made fun of everybody, you know what I'm saying? That group of people in the quad, whatever. Like, I just never really had a group of friends that I kicked it with, and I didn't hang out with them outside of school. So Knott's Berry Farm was kind of like my social environment. But once it
got real right on.
Yeah, so once it
deep.
Yeah, it did. It's still waters. So once it became that for me, it took away the excitement. And I feel like people are using the internet in a similar way. The internet's becoming their social life. It's becoming everything that they depend on. It's crazy, but Uber Eats is real easy to use. It's convenient and it's fun. The first time you use it, you're like, dude, I just ordered food on my phone and it came to my house. But the 50th time you use it, I don't know. For me personally, it kind of gets depressing.
It's just as exciting on the 50th time because I feel like you didn't want to you didn't want to fucking go anywhere. I can order some Indian food. It's just gonna be here. That's crazy. But it's all a spectrum because I don't do it every day. But I guess my point with that was I have on a weekend just been like, fuck it, we're not doing shit. And then you just order shit. And you do get numb to it, but it's still exciting. There's no way you're not stoked when you get your.
See, but the way you even just put it, sometimes on a weekend, we're not doing anything. I'm talking about there are people that are ordering from Uber Eats every single day.
Well, that was my original point. It does lose it if you overdo anything, I suppose.
And then you depend on it and all that. So I think the integration of the internet and the human experience, like, what is the goal here? Like, what is the internet ultimately facilitating for us? Like, are we going to use it to have virtual reality?
Everything. I think the shared information is a good thing. You're going to have stupid people fuck up anything. You go to a skate park, the stupid people don't wear helmets and they fall. Now everybody's got to wear a fucking helmet. Maybe that's a bad example. But I don't understand why stupidness becomes inflicted on everybody based on a few stupid people. Like, I think a lot of people use the internet for good things, and I think a lot of them use it for bad things. So it's only a spectrum. It's not this, that, or any of the in between. It exists as the everything.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I just don't like it.
You didn't like my answer?
And it's ironic. No. I liked what you said, but you summed it up as it's everything.
Well, that's true. And I gotta admit,
and I don't like that
with the friends thing because I went to a different school every year of my life, like for real. Like every year, I went to
an experiment.
Nah, we just moved a lot. It was all in Southern California. We just fucking moved everywhere except for junior high. I went to the same school like 2 or 3 years in a row. But everything else.
How did that impact you?
It was the same thing. I had friends. Like, it wasn't like, but like really, not really. Like I did the same thing. I hung out with everybody. Like I hung out with like mostly musician kids or like skater kids or like everyone, like jocks, popular people. Like, but I didn't feel a click with any of them. I felt nothing. So we didn't hang out after school, which is the same thing. But maybe that could be our experience. You know, somebody else could have been a person that didn't have a set, but they had many groups of friends and they did something different with it. I don't fucking know. So it all just depends.
Yeah, I look at it more like I had acquaintances in high school. I had people that I could hang out with and talk with. Because, like, what is the definition of a friend?
I don't fucking know.
You know what I'm saying?
I guess
Like, I think a friend,
mutual
there's
whatever,
a
it should just
relationship
be
involved. You know, with the friendship, there's like a relationship. Like, I don't think I have a
trust.
relationship.
Oh shit! I got an answer. I think trust. Like we've all had a douchebag friend, but it's like, but I trust the guy, or like in Train Spotting when they're talking about the asshole friend. It's like, but he's a mate. What can you do? It's kind of like that. It's like if it's a homie, then it doesn't matter. But I guess trust is probably like if you have a friend that's fucking you over all the time, that's like the end of it.
Yeah.
So that's my answer.
I think there's some. I think a friend is someone that you see more. Like, okay, I don't consider the guy at the grocery store. He's there every time I'm there, dude. I talk to him. I know his name. He maybe even knows mine. That's not my friend. You know what I'm saying?
I wouldn't even call that an acquaintance.
Yeah, but
That's
like
just the
if
dude
I saw
that
him
does
out,
things for you once a week, and he kind of gets paid like around the corner for that.
but if I saw him outside of that, I would say hello to him, and I'd say, "How's your day going?"
Totally. But I mean, you're not gonna be like, "Yo, let's get a coffee, bro."
So okay, so
Dude, you bagged that shit so great.
So what's an
What you doing?
acquaintance? So what's an acquaintance? Because that guy helps me facilitate a very
An
important thing in my
acquaintance
life.
is a friend that's like there's not enough trust. Maybe.
You can't throw the word friend in there, dude. Friend is a different thing.
I think I said it.
I think an acquaintance is like, oh yeah, I know who that is, but I couldn't tell you very much.
Nah, because I got people that I hang out with. Okay, it maybe is a friend's friend. I don't know if we're gonna get an actual definition on this, but I have friends that I hang out with, and they're tight, and I got nothing wrong with them. But that's not my boy. Like it's an acquaintance. So maybe that's it, as opposed to the grocer. And if I see him outside of the grocery store, like it's all fine, but that's not enough to be an acquaintance.
I think an acquaintance is like a typecasted scenario. You know what I mean? Like there's no spectrum within me and the guy at the grocery store's relationship. You're bagging my shit. I'm paying you. I'm giving you cash. And then it's
pretty one-dimensional.
And it's a very one-dimensional situation. I think a friend is somebody that you open up a little bit more to. You share your human experience
via
with
the trust.
More than just the ricochet of a rock off of a wall, the rocks in the wall when you're friends. I think there's depth to friendship. I think when it comes to acquaintances, because I always consider myself to have a lot of acquaintances and very minimal amount of friends. Because I know people, they know me, but they don't know how old I am. They don't know my birthday. They don't know what I like. They don't know the last time I had a hard day. Like, so it's, or anything like that.
Sure.
So I think acquaintances are just people that we know each other's names, but there's not really a care to get deeper involved with each other beyond knowing each other's names. It's almost like I know enough to get myself out of conversations. Do you know what I'm saying? That's like funny. People bring up a topic and it's like, oh yeah, dude, have you heard this? Da, da, da. Okay, on to the next. I don't want you to not think I know what I'm talking about, but I don't. And that's why I divert away from it. So I think acquaintances is more like that. As soon as we get too deep, all right, cool, I gotta go, bro.
You had mentioned something about care. That was just the topic or the main word I heard. And I think that sometimes it can happen without that because like I don't care. And, you know, it happens, and sometimes it doesn't. It's not like I'm like, dude, I want this person to be my friend, bro. You know, like I don't think care matters. I don't care. Maybe that's.
So you think you can develop a friendship with caring being out of the equation? Is that what you're getting at?
Yeah, that whether you care or not about having the friends, they develop themselves based on a number of things. You know, we can become friends because of this or that, but it's not because I cared to have you as a friend. Or maybe it does. I don't know.
You know, I don't know where I saw this at, but there's a study done where at most a human being can manage 5 meaningful friendships. 5 meaningful relationships is about as much as you can do until it just becomes excessive and unnecessary, and you actually become less of a good friend to your friends because you've overexceeded the threshold in which you can handle. And people that have more than 5 friends don't have friends for the sake of the relationship. They have friends because they make them. Like, if me and you are friends, right, we have moments together that don't make me exist or don't make me validate myself, but we share something. But if I have 100 friends, these 100 friends are solely to validate me having friends.
I get the point.
You know what I mean? So I don't know. That's why 5,000 friends on Facebook and all that stuff, whatever, like it's almost just
A waste of time.
nonsensical. Do you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like, what's the point of all that? You know, because those 4,995 people that are on my shit are just taking away from the 5 friends that I actually should be caring about, right?
I think those 5,000 people are the type that want the 100 to validate, because as we were trying to say in a point that, you know, why are people posting these nothing posts and liking these nothing posts? And I think it's somebody liking the nothing post, hoping that whoever this is will like this person's nothing post and feel validated
Yeah.
or included somehow to the other person's nothing post.
And see, when we talked earlier about the internet and using it for cooking and how it helps us. But like, this is the negative effect of the internet. You know what I'm saying? It's like diminishing the human experience to clicks, to likes, to views, to whatever it is. And I would have to guess that depression is at an all-time high. Because if I'm having a hard day, like the biggest thing that you can do when you're feeling down is compare yourself to someone else's situation. Do you know what I'm saying? If I go online and I'm having a bad day and I'm not feeling good, but the thing is, no one wants to post that shit online. And if they do, nobody cares. You know what I mean? Like,
or they post super depressing
like
shit. Like,
yeah, and then it's
nobody
like,
wants to read.
I don't want to read that, which is fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Because
Just spilling his heart out, nobody fucking cares.
yeah, you know,
Or he gets liked.
But if you put "I farted today" and everyone smelled it and it was horrible, everyone's gonna interact.
I bet you
with
that would get reposted or retweeted or whatever the fuck they call that.
So I think it's like people's desire to be authentic as themselves,
Using other people's ideas.
you know, is not there anymore. I think it's just, what can I do to get everyone else's attention or to get people to like it? Like we're creating people based off of what, you know, what's cool, and like people. I don't know exactly what I just said. It was kind of confusing.
I'm with it.
But it's all going back to the human experience, right? Like, are we living life or is life living us? And what role does the internet play? I've been doing a lot of thinking along those lines. And I think for me personally, it's because I have a lot of non-connectivity in my life. You know what I'm saying? Like I have a hard time connecting in general, things of that nature. And the internet seems to make me feel worse.
Sorry, Dylan.
I'm glad you like that. I'm glad that was funny to you.
Well, we're cool enough. I can laugh at that.
No, it's okay. You care. You care. You don't even have to, but you do.
Exactly.
But like, I can't be alone in this.
No, totally.
Right?
I don't think that you're alone in that.
So it's like, and I think the internet gives people a false sense of connectivity, and that's the problem.
Agreed.
So I guess that's where I'm getting at. Like, where does it go from here? Like, you know, do I even want my kids on the internet when I have kids? Like, do I even want them doing that? And I don't know. It's like, and then you look at other countries that limit internet use and things of that nature. And is that a benefit? Is that non-beneficial? I mean,
well, that's non-beneficial, but I think that type of person that you're talking about is someone who thinks that their point is so great that maybe they're changing people's minds. Like the comments on things. A lot of people go to comments. You know, you're watching a video and you scroll for comments just to see what kind of shit that they're putting there, and it's nothing but, you know, pretentious fucking ideas, and that's all it is. Oh, just my pretentious outlook on this or that, and it's and people are I'm mostly entertained by that shit.
You're entertained by grandeurs of delusion.
It gets real dark real quick. People just fucking you put an idea up or something, like a cooking thing, and they'll be like, this recipe was shit, you know, or like it's too much fucking salt, and it's like don't put as much salt in your fucking whatever you're cooking, or whatever. But now you got to talk shit about my shit, even though maybe I like more salt, but you want to go on there and dump on my fucking recipe because you don't like that much salt when you clearly knew how much fucking salt was going to be in there.
Bro, why are they so salty?
Well played. I think that's the problem, though, is pretentious ego and entitlement. Entitlement is such a problem. And I think that they all together on the internet are a problem. But then there's plenty of people who are like, dude, that was an asshole thing for you to say. So there's always going to be, not always, but there should hopefully be some sort of balance. And I think that would be the good side to the internet. I just think the access to have access to the information is a beautiful thing, but it's probably mostly just misused on people who don't really give a fuck.
If you got a gun, you can protect yourself or kill yourself. The same gun's going to do both things. I think the internet it helps us as much as it hurts us. It depends on how you're using it. If you feel like your existence is validated online, if you feel like the internet makes you in some way, I think that's a problem.
Yeah, unless you're doing,
Because what does it mean? Happiness only exists when it's shared. What the fuck is it if you're just sitting at home on the internet all day? What kind of existence is that?
Yeah, it is to be shared. And maybe that's part of it. Maybe that's to an extreme what that is. Someone feeling included and then they get some sort of happiness and I'm over here dumping on them because they have a pretentious opinion, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion. But at least I'm not going on there on your page saying fuck you and all your ideas were wrong or you put too much salt.
And I think
There's got to be a balance.
Relationships are based on way more surface things than ever with the internet.
Like give me an example.
How deep are people's friendships and relationships these days?
I don't know. Probably. Well, the older you get, the less you. Fuck, I just sound like an old man. The less you care. I don't know. When you're younger, like I don't know, when you're in high school or something, those things seem very important, and I think you're more interweaved. Whether you have solid friendships or they're mostly acquaintances, your ideas seem to flow together. You're all learning together. I don't know. I think that's a little bit different. Maybe I went off on a different turn there.
I think I went off different, and then you went off based on my different.
It's the okay, conversation's forking and veering, okay, but it'll be fine.
This is a proversation.
I agree.
Not a conversation. So, with that being said, I guess what I was getting at is, I don't know. I think lately, for me personally, I've been in an introspective place. I've been analyzing life around me, and I'm bringing this to the table for the podcast. I feel like it's only fair. And I'm just looking at it through the lens of the human experience, what it is, what it was. And I don't know. It makes me worried about where it's going.
In what regard? Where is it going?
Technology, probably get a little closer. Technology is so coincided with, or so connected with humanity that, like, I think there's very little authenticity within the human race that isn't for show for the internet, because we're so overly aware that everything is being filmed or everything is being seen. People are privy to, I don't know. I
think that exists without the internet. I think that in general is the human condition.
Maybe that's
true. It might be a negative outlook, but I think that's mostly what the human mind does. Yeah, that could be a survivalist type old school thing that we have in our brain.
And I guess, maybe then I should be grateful that I'm born right now and I have the internet, because before the internet it would have been worse. Maybe?
Yeah. Well, everything was worse. What was better back in the day? Aside from probably food was not processed.
That's a good thing.
But that's a super good thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, realistically, aside from a couple 1, 2, 3s that we could put on the table, for the most part, this gradual awareness, because like most information was just for like nobility or like people with money, and the poor were just basically kept poor via ignorance. So more people could probably pull themselves out of it.
How is that
with
different?
Some sort of awareness.
Going on today? I think the poor are even being more trapped in ignorance, disguised as information.
I will give you that. But they have the accessibility with a little intuition or a little get-go. They could do something, not just poor, but anybody. Like anybody who, I don't know, information could really just take you farther. But you have to there's an application involved. Like a lot of people would prefer to just get on there and make comments as opposed to do anything about it. Or I don't know. What would you do about it? It's fucking tough, bro.
So I guess that's what I was getting at, is just a matter of, I look at, I don't know. That's why I said I feel like I've lived past lives in the beginning, because the world looks unfamiliar to me. Does that make sense?
Oh, you say a few more things.
Well, like I can put myself in a place where I think 1,000 years ago, none of this was here.
What was what?
Nothing. 1,000 years ago, there wasn't billboards everywhere. There wasn't phones. There wasn't microphones. Maybe.
There's one or two.
Like, hey, we got, a fire over here. I don't know.
I don't fucking know.
Who knows? But like, it feels like whatever.
Whatever mass civilizations before this.
I just feel like there's an integration of humanity and technology is getting a little extreme. I guess to boil it down, that's what I'm saying. I think technology and humanity are too interconnected, and I feel like technology is taking away from a lot of positive traits humanity once had.
Do you have like what do you think? Like, because you mentioned earlier the fuck, what would you say? Like that
The
some
internet
people
gives
can't
us
have
a
the internet.
false
Do you think
sense.
that that's better?
It's a
or
false
what?
sense of reality, I feel like.
Well, agreed. But what? Okay, so like putting solutions on the table.
Yeah.
Do you think that neglecting certain websites from the public, or what do you think? Like, because you had mentioned earlier that some countries basically block or ban most content on the internet. Do you think that that's a solution, or I mean, because we're already here, what would be a way to move forward?
I mean,
from
I
that?
do think that it is positive. Sometimes I don't think censorship is positive at all.
I don't.
But I think that we should be very transparent with what's put out there, because it's very easy for false information to be put out, seen as legitimate. But then again,
Transparency, like
transparent.
in what regard?
I guess that's a hard part, because what is true these days? Like, what's accurate,
Well, exactly.
what's not accurate?
Wouldn't you say the internet is transparent in a way that, you know, if I have my video and you talk shit about it, that's as fucking transparent as it
That
gets?
is a transparent
Well,
part. But
it's-
what about a news station putting out a headline that isn't true, but it's being portrayed by the viewer as true?
Oh, man. That's so brutal, dude.
Do you
I'm
know
sure,
what I'm
especially
saying?
with these times, without trying to jump into any of that shit, you know, that you read that certain websites are created in different places around the world where they literally just take a story and spin it, and they sell that spun story.
Yeah.
So, like, what the fuck? Like, shit, I forgot where I was going with that. But what the fuck?
I guess that's where I'm going. The internet, to me, like, I'm on a constant search for what the fuck is reality, what's the truth behind things. And I just feel like the internet is just a way, it's supposed to make you feel closer to the truth, but it's taking people so far away from reality. It's crazy. It's able to.
What truths? Because I think science, I don't know how to get, if we could just get as very black and white as we could. Like, I think a lot of people are fucking just, they believe too much stupid shit without, okay, you're saying you're trying to do research on whatever the thing is. But
Yeah.
that research alone is more initiative than I think the average Joe has. And they just take it on face value. They say, okay, I read this fucking thing. And then that's it. They don't counterpoint it. They don't try and do any more research. They just take the information as a truth. I think you need a little intellectualism. I think you need to, I guess I've always thought this. You should ask questions no matter what. You should never just take anything as the truth. No matter what you're being taught, you should try and at least have a counterpoint just for the argument and play chess on the idea, just to see if you can, at least for your own self, build a truth that's built on more research than just I fucking read a thing, so there it is, or whatever.
Well, it sounds like you're talking about the scientific method almost.
Right? How do you mean by that? I just mean
like,
you
know,
not just
okay,
science.
like
Go
you
ahead.
tell me something. You say, hey, the sky's blue. Okay. So I'm going to go outside and I'm going to look at the sky. It's blue. Once. You know what I'm saying? And then I can go retest it. I can look again. Okay, it's blue again. Okay, the sky is blue. You're accurate. You're right.
I guess
You know what I'm
I guess that's what I'm saying.
So like
to
there's a
degree.
method behind verifying the information that I've been given.
Do you
I think
this-
these days people just trust, who knows? People just trust what they hear right off the bat. And like you said, people build their case and they learn. Not enough people do that. I think people just, it hits that dopamine rush. They get excited about the information and they just kind of go away with it. And I don't even know if the truth matters anymore sometimes. to
It
people.
totally matters. Fucking take that back, bro.
I know.
The truth is so
not
important. At least the search for it. I don't know, dude. I can't say enough about ignorance.
I think
dude.
it's more about what sells things or the spin that needs to be put
True.
on things to make them exciting to people. Because in a world, if you had all the money in the world, money doesn't exist. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if you have everything accessible to you all the time, like, I don't know, doesn't that kind of dilute the potency of the information that you're getting to a degree?
Yeah.
I don't know. So that I guess that's what I'm seeing it as. And that's a really long rant. And who fucking cares? Who knows? Who knows, dude?
Well, that's just the thing. Nobody fucking does. So do a little more research. Don't be so fucking on your high throne and shit. And let's all just try and be people. Damn, that was a nice little spin in the end.
was a nice little spin.
That's a spin.
Well, hey, I'm excited that the internet exists. I guess all in all, what I'm getting at is I've just been thinking a lot lately about the negative aspects of what the internet could bring. And I'm just really hopeful that we continue moving it in a positive direction.
Or has brought. It's brought in a lot of negativity. I think we could work on ourselves. I think that'd be tight if everyone just worked on themselves a little bit.
We're not avatars, dude.
That would make a change. I don't think you need to be an avatar.
You can't high five.
If you fuck up, just be like, I did a dick thing, and you learn from it. I think the internet is just its own fucking monster, dude. But we have to be able to judge ourselves and react accordingly, just as you would in society on the internet, which will probably never happen. But that would be a start, is if people just started fucking taking on themselves first before dumping on other people for the effort that they've put into whatever they've done.
The internet's been weaponized, dude.
Yeah. Well, this is true. I feel like that's a whole other podcast, though. But yeah, that's very true.
So this podcast was like a shield to the internet's sword.
I would say it's a beacon of light for the onlooker, bro. To see if they could fucking find the way out of that fucking grim situation that the internet has fucking stormed upon their fucking settlement, player.
And I don't want you to listen to the whole CD all at once. Just start with the first track.
You know what I'm saying? You can put it on shuffle. Let the thing decide. Who cares? Or you can play song one. I mean, you bought the fucking CD. Who's gonna? Or is that you bought the download? Whatever you fucking do these days. But just listen to it, bro. Eventually. You don't have to start with song. The song one is whatever.
It's hard to end it.
Well,
so let's just do it.
Well, we appreciate you being here. This is the Jerid and Brian show. I'm Brian.
I'm Jerid.
We had a good time. We'll see you on the next one.
And that's it. And just on a final note.
This fucking guy, dude.
Just on a final note.
Just so you know, we've tried to sign off a few times.
We have. And I just want everyone out there to do something. I just want you to say hello to someone that you've never talked to. I want you to give a compliment to someone that you've never talked to. I want you to reach out to an old friend and say you were thinking about them right now, because it's the truth. Right before you called them, you probably were thinking about them. That's why you called them. I just want to urge us for a little bit more humanity, a little bit more connection within each other. That was a weird thing to say.
That's fine.
Connection within each other.
Oh, you said within.
That was like a bar.
I thought you
connection within each other. That's like a battle bar. Like there was like 3 things I just said. You didn't catch all of it.
I think you complimented yourself a little too much on them.
It's all right. I'm one of those pretentious guys.
I thought it was good. This was the Jerid and Brian show. I'm Brian.
I'm sweating, and I'm Jerid, and that's it.
We appreciate it.